Hello and welcome to the Con Couple. I'm Richard.
I'm concerned about our mic
Why?
because we haven't checked them.
We literally just did.
No, we didn't tell them we went to trivia this week. I'm so proud of this joke, and it's so dumb, and our audience doesn't get it at all.
It makes no sense to anybody who doesn't know that part of our trivia group is a guy named Mike.
I just thought of it though, and I think it's hilarious.
Oh God, you're definitely riding the con high at the moment.
Just a little bit. I'm also surrounded by plush, so
yeah, this is true.
Which,
we will explain that.
You can probably piece together what happened.
So, where were we this week?
We were at Wapafwa, according to how I've heard other people pronounce it. I feel like this one needs a couple more iterations of...
It's been going for 21 years.
Yeah, it has.
And yet their acronym is still questionable. But yeah, this is the Western Pennsylvania Furry Weekend. Wapafwa. No.
There's not enough vowels for it to be Wapafwa. For the record, that's not us knocking the con.
It's just... Again, like, furries really like their acronyms when it comes to naming their conventions.
Which makes it incredibly confusing if you are like we are on the what we call the outskirts of the furry fandom.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like remembering the difference between MFC, FFC, and MCFC. Like
it just gets to be a thing.
Yeah.
Fur squared.
Yeah.
I will say that others, like, there's further confusion or fur reality or something like that. Like, there's a few that have, like, better pun names. But, I feel like the earlier ones... But it is pretty cool that this has been going for 21 years, so...
Has anybody done one for all yet?
Don't give them ideas. Well, there's the, like, Nightmare Nazi Convention free-for-all.
Was that the Nazi one?
Yeah, that was the Nazi one.
Okay.
Again, we probably shouldn't even be talking about that.
Probably not. Again, for the record, most furries are not Nazis. Like all communities, they've got a couple of bad apples, and generally speaking, they get banned from all the actual conventions.
Yeah, they do. Like, all furry conventions check your ID. They know what ID is matched to your persona, and if you're one of the people who are banned from conventions, they will check your ID and not let you in.
Yep. Which, good.
Which they did at this convention also. So this one was a particularly interesting one. It wasn't initially on our schedule. We were planning to go to Con on the Cob all weekend.
Yep.
And then I was idly looking, because as you know, we're schedule people, about the schedule. Whatever it is. And the schedule had just come out, and it said they only had a few tickets left. And I was like, if there's a few tickets left, I want one of the tickets that's left. And then we got tickets. We were pretty much the last two people to get tickets.
Yeah, you said the actual ticket sales closed like an hour after you got our tickets.
Yeah, they did. But I figured it would be fun, and this is largely an outdoor convention, which we don't go to a lot because I hate nature.
We're in a furry con, honey. They're major animal lovers.
I like it. I love animals.
You just don't like nature.
I don't like nature, and I'm pretty neutral on anthropomorphic animals. As are you.
Yeah.
So we're at the weird part of Pittsburgh where we never went under this bridge before, did we?
No, but we swung by a Trader Joe's on the way out, so we're going home a slightly different route. Pittsburgh
has too many bridges.
Yep.
Yeah, in case you can't tell, we record this on our car. We're using hands-free lapel mics in keeping with the laws in Pennsylvania, West Virginia, and Ohio.
Which will be the 3 states we'll be driving through today.
Not just random ones I mentioned.
As we head home.
So I figured this one would be a nice compromise because it is at a lodge that has indoor plumbing, and indoor plumbing is necessary for me.
Yes.
I don't do porta potties. Well, I can, but I don't like them. So
nobody does.
Yeah, I imagine so. So, like, having indoor plumbing in an event I'm going to spend extended periods of time at is good. The real reason I don't tend to like outdoor events is just a lot of the reasons I go to cons is to dress up, and I have to limit my costume choices if we're outdoors, because most of what I have are... A lot of my ball gowns, obviously, do touch the ground, and I don't want to be picking up, like, dirt, or in this case, a lot of deer poop. There was a lot of deer poop this weekend.
That was a fair amount of deer.
And when I say deer, I mean, like, literal deer. It wasn't the furries, you freaks.
We're all thinking it at some point, but,
Definitely anyone who was listening to this was thinking about it.
Oh, yeah, you tunnel.
Signal should be fine, though. Cause
again, the mics connect via short-range Bluetooth or whatever it is.
So we decided to go to this as kind of a... Furries do a lot of camp-out events. I've been interested in trying one for a while. this seemed like a nice halfway point where they still had some panel programming and they still had
an indoor space.
You could kind of go into. It was kind of hot at the time, but otherwise I would say the weather was like a little bit hot in the day, a little bit cold at night, but generally pretty good this weekend. Like it was pretty and a lot of fun.
Like it was a very, very nice weekend for it. Like maybe a little, if we were fursuiters, it would probably have been a bit on the toasty side during the day, but like the evenings I suspect would have been really nice.
Yeah. So this event is also interesting in terms of their ticket tier system. We were the lowest ticket tier of just general admission, which was $100 per ticket, but does come with free food, which we'll talk more about. And then if you're the next tier ticket system up, I don't remember how much that one cost, you get 3 free drink tickets that you can use. And they actually have a fair selection of alcohol there and a bar.
And then it's not just 3 tickets, it's 3 tickets a day.
Yeah, so you're getting 9 drinks overall.
Yeah, specifically you get given, I think it's a punch card, and then each time you buy a drink at the bar, the bartender will punch out one of the spots for that day.
And then, what? Go ahead.
I was just going to say, the idea being to make sure that you A, get a reasonable amount of drinks, but also B, don't spend all 9 tickets on Friday night.
Yeah. That's a good choice.
Yeah, like that's a solid, well thought out system, and I will give them props for that.
And then there's just super sponsored here above that like gives you front of the line privileges and maybe also extra drinks. I don't remember. I can look it up.
I don't think you got extra drinks with super sponsor. I think it was primarily just you got front of the line privileges for the food.
Yeah.
But, like,
as we've talked about before, like super sponsor and higher tiers like that, like it's really more about you support the con and want to give them money so they can continue to happen, as opposed to like getting the perks.
Like there are some perks for it, but they're probably not worth the amount of extra money you're giving them, and everybody is aware of that fact. Like those tiers exist so you can give more money to the con, not because you're going to get like lots of stuff out of it. Which is one of the big differences we noticed between something like GalaxyCon and the other big corporate cons and a FurCon. Because at a FurCon, people who are going like the con and want to support the con, whereas with something like GalaxyCon, it's all about what you get out of it. Like, are you going to get front of the line privileges to meet the celebrity you want? That kind of thing. Whereas at FurCons, the super sponsor tier is basically, I like this con, I want to give it more money.
Yeah, which is awesome. So there is a lot of overlap between this and AC, but it is AnthroCon. I should probably not use the acronyms because it's just confusing to anyone who's not in the community.
Yep.
There is some overlap. There's some similar volunteers, but it is run by different people.
Yes.
And I will also say that the general admission tier, the ticket that we have, I think is less popular at this con than the tier above, which is the sponsor tier, because you get free drinks with that.
Yep.
So we were actually in the minority. Generally, general admission is the most popular tier. That said, I appreciate that they have it as somebody who does not have to drink, because I appreciate that I don't have to pay for drinks that I can't use.
Yeah, and I was, as per usual, the one driving us home, and this is one we've been doing as a back and forth. It's about a 2-hour drive.
Yeah, we did this kind of impulse, and as you know, we got bunnies pretty recently, so we didn't want to kind of leave them overnight quite yet, because we do have a sitter for Emma, and we're trying to hopefully train them soon to use the bunnies.
Yes, so that they can look after the bunnies as well. Which shouldn't be too much of a problem. They're not complicated, in terms of like what they need on a day-to-day basis. It's just we need a little bit of time to get them settled and do that before we go away for an extended period of time. And again, 2 hours is doable, especially if it's mostly highway, which this drive was. It does mean kind of leaving relatively early in the morning and getting back relatively late at night. So I've been getting up a bit early and letting the bunnies out first thing in the morning, which they've appreciated. They were in a mood with me this morning, though.
You give them their eardrops.
Yeah.
They don't like their eardrops.
Yeah, because they're lops, they get eardrops just to make sure they don't get any infections in their ears, because that can be very, very bad for them.
And if you're a furry who's listening to this for the first time, their names are Sean and Toby.
Yes. Yeah, so they were in a mood with me this morning, because the eardrops are good for them and are necessary. They don't like getting them administered, which is fair.
Yeah. So, also just kind of a disclosure about this event. This is a plus 21 event, and it's furries, so there's going to be some
questionable comments.
There's going to be some more adult content this episode. We're going to keep it pretty PG because we're not an explicit podcast, but like we're all adults.
We are all adults. We will be mentioning a few things that were in the auction. Yeah.
And a few conversations we had over the weekend, although not mentioning any names because we respect privacy. And also, we
Yes.
don't remember everyone's names.
Yeah, we're bad at that.
So just keep that in mind. Still no cursing, I guess, but
Yeah.
we're all adults. We'll talk a little bit about it.
Yep.
I don't know if you want to talk about what we did this weekend that was a little bit more risque or not.
I mean, we can mention it if you want.
I don't really care. I don't know. Like, look, it's a furry con.
Sorry,
Now
just
I'm
making sure
overly
it's-
debating it. Oh
I'll
my
just
god.
tell people.
Look, it's a furry con. People are into kink. We're into kink. I feel like that's not surprising.
Mm-hmm.
That's all.
Yeah.
It's not really much deeper than that.
Yeah, like we had the opportunity to have a couple of conversations about it over the weekend. You know, nothing too extreme.
And we're pretty open about it generally.
Yeah.
Thank you for being like a good host that's like, focused on the podcast.
I'm mostly focused on the fact I'm driving into the sun at the moment, so I mean, I could crash the car and kill us, and that would make for good podcast material.
That'd be great podcast material.
Yeah. We wouldn't really be around to enjoy it, though. So, in terms of the actual event space, it was basically large at the top of a hill with outdoor section at the back that's basically a field with a few trees.
Mm-hmm.
Perfectly functional space.
There's a few outdoor tents that stuff is set up at, and there's also flags around the park that are like spaces where like outdoor events are supposed to take place at various flags, which are just sections of the field.
Yeah. Which was a little slapdash and a little hard to figure out sometimes, but like not in a catastrophic way.
Mm-hmm.
Like generally speaking, if there was a thing you wanted to do, you could find it. It might just take a little bit of work. And it wasn't exactly a massive space because the cap tickets are what, 500 people?
Yeah, 500 people total.
Yeah.
Parking, if you want to talk about that,
Yes.
is a little weird.
Yeah. So at actually outside the venue space, they had parking for maybe 50 vehicles, which not a lot, not enough. So
that's reserved for staff, which makes sense.
Yep.
And there was a space
ADA.
for ADA. And generally, I think I'm sure if you had an ADA thing and like wanted to make a stink about it, or like wanted to, not that ADA is not valid, but like if you didn't have an ADA sticker but needed to park there, it's a 500-person event. You could probably work something out with the con.
Yes.
But for everyone else, they park in the lower field, which is nearby, and they also have 2 hotel shuttles going back to the 2 hotels that are associated with the event.
Yep.
And keep in mind, the hotel ones are definitely necessary because this is an event where people drink.
A lot.
And they want people to be able to get back and forth safely.
Yes. So they basically had 3 minivans doing pretty much continuous runs all weekend, with 2 of them going to the 2 hotels and 1 of them just doing effectively circles down to the lower parking lot.
Mm-hmm.
They estimated that the one to the hotels were running every 15 minutes, and the one to the parking lot was meant to be running on about the same schedule. That one was probably running faster just because it had far less distance to go.
I will say we stayed in the lower lot 3 times. I would say I don't think we ever wound up waiting more than 5 minutes for a vehicle.
Yeah, it wasn't bad at all.
Yeah, occasionally like the driver would have to take a bathroom break, but like,
yeah,
fine. Like it's not a big deal.
Yeah. And
I will say the van team, another very thankless job. They do gangbusters.
God, yes, like they were working all coming weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so shout out to them. Shout
Yeah.
out to them for just doing a really phenomenal job. I do want to praise them for that.
And talking to Quicks,
Yep.
was she, her pronouns?
Yep.
I'm mostly just highlighting that again because furries, you really do have to double check the pronouns a lot. Yep. Not against any of them, just one of those things. I was saying that the van, or one of the vans was new. They just added a 3rd van in to make the process even quicker, which I think was a good idea.
I think that was a good call. Again, we didn't at any point go to either of the hotels because we weren't staying at either of the hotels.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't hear any particular complaining or whinging or anything like that, so I think it was running pretty efficiently.
Yeah. And it's nice that they have this.
Yeah. Would we have preferred being able to park close enough that we could just walk back and forth with the car? Yes, obviously we would, but
and
given the limited available space, this was probably the best option.
Yeah, and as somebody with a disability, I was nervous about it. By today, I was entirely comfortable with it. Yeah. Like, I trusted that the system was going to work, it was going to work well, and they were going to do a good job with it.
Yeah, which they did.
They did. Like, I was completely comfortable with bands today. For Friday, I was a little bit nervous, just kind of because it was a new thing and I didn't know how it worked, but today was great. And that wasn't because it was worse on Friday.
Yeah, and I think our only real criticism is that they did have some signage in the lower lot, basically saying, park here for Wapafwa. How do you pronounce it?
Wapafwa.
Wapafwa. Park here for Wapafwa. My only complaint is those signs were a bit on the small side.
Yeah, so we and a bunch of other people, I had read the website, so I knew we had to park in the lower lot. It was just unclear what lot was the lower lot. So we and a bunch of other people, I think, had also read that sign, effectively got up to where the event was, and then just turned around.
Realized that we weren't actually allowed to park it there. Turned around, went back to the lower lot, and parked down there. So slightly larger signage, if you can manage it for next year, would be great. But that's a fairly minor criticism. And they did have helpful signage, basically saying here's the pick up and drop off points for the vans.
Probably also weren't mentioning we weren't at the con around what we could call I would call choke point times. Sorry to disappoint, we don't tend to do late night stuff because we don't drink.
So this is definitely a con where if you wanted to do super late, you probably wanted a beverage in your hand.
And so we weren't trying to get shuttles because the con closed officially every night at 11:30, mostly to make sure everyone else out by midnight. I imagine there probably would be lines and people waiting at that time period. You might have to wait 1 or 2 shuttles to get on one, whereas when we were there, you didn't have to do that, which was very cool.
At one point, we did end up letting a shuttle go because it was full. That was on Saturday morning. But I think that one had come from one of the hotels.
It had come with one of the hotels, and one of the con had several bands playing. There was a bunch of people with instruments who would stop there. We think that they radioed one of the hotel vans just so they could get, because the instruments had to go up.
So they were basically saying, stop on, if you've got room, stop on the way past, let them load the instruments and get in with you, just so they're not taking up all of the room.
In one of the other shuttles, and both of these shuttles arrived at the same time, so it's perfectly fine. Similarly with parking, we managed to get spot seats days. I can't imagine if we got there a bit later, it would be a bit more full.
Yeah.
Because there are some people who generally just come up for the evening stuff once the sun has gone down.
Yeah, we, on Friday, we didn't get there until 5:30, 6 o'clock. And we were kind of jammy to get a spot that time, whereas the other 2 days we arrived
10, 11-ish,
and we managed to get parking absolutely fine. So, I think it's just a case of if you're arriving earlier in the day, you'll be fine. If it's later in the day, you might have a bit more trouble, which is pretty normal. And it was at least free parking. But they weren't charging you for use of the shuttle service. So it did say something that our van driver this morning commented on the fact that they were on their second cup of coffee at 10 a.m. So
I want to respect Quicks. I also apologize, Quicks, if you're listening to this. Your full name, we're still kind of struggling to say several vowels.
It's got a lot of U's in it.
But she was working all weekend. That team was doing a great job.
Oh yeah.
Do you want to describe? So when we got there on Friday, we did work on Friday, so we got up there I think a little bit after work.
Yeah, again, we're heading into fall break, so half the office was out on Friday, so I did manage to sneak out a little early.
So we got here around 5-ish, I think.
5, half 5, somewhere in that ballpark.
And it's also worth noting in terms of our normal scheduled stuff. This con had significantly less on than a full on con would. They had events and things like that, but most of them were things that people kind of just were in. We're sitting down, and then an event happened around them, and they were just cool. So we got in, we got onto one of the buses relatively quickly. Went up, they had a sign for registration.
Which was upside down.
Yeah.
They'd drawn the arrow on it the wrong way. It was great.
Because we were coming up on buses, and also because we weren't there at a popular time, we got our
badges pretty quick.
There was pretty much no line. We just went in, and this was a similar process to all furry cons, where you just show them their ID and you get your badge. And I got to pick which on your badge.
Tell them what you put on my badge.
It's more fun if you say it.
British boy toy. Also, you listed my species as questionably English.
Yeah, I did. I also misspelled questionably because I was doing it in a hurry. So we did that, and then we started to look around the event. And this is, I will give furries credit for this. Every time, we've been to a bunch of furry events now, I think they can't surprise me anymore.
And then they do.
They do, again, with some other delightful thing. In this particular case, I did notice beforehand that this event didn't have a charity auction like a lot of furry events do, but it did have a charity raffle.
Yes.
And as part of your tickets, everyone got 2 tickets for door prizes and 2 tickets they could enter into any raffle box that they wanted.
1 ticket each for door prizes.
Oh, yeah, you're right. So 2 tickets for things that they could put in the general raffle and 1 that they could put in for door prizes. Thank you. Just to make sure that they had a fair and equal chance at one particular thing.
Yep.
And I had no idea what this was going to be. I thought it was going to be like most charity auctions where, you know, there's 1 item and you bid on that. And like if you have 70 lots, you have 70 items.
Yeah. No.
That's not what this was.
No.
This was the most like you go into this room and it's the most impressive array of stuff I've ever seen.
Yeah. It's a very impressive collection of random crap.
Yeah. Like, all of the stuff was donated by people, and half of it's just stuff that they have in their garage that they don't want anymore, but it's still amazing.
Yep.
So I don't even know how to begin to describe what's in this auction room.
Okay, put it this way. Lot number 1 was a giant collection of Nerf guns. Because, again, people just donate all kinds of random stuff, and then the con itself organizes them into, like, lots that, I was going to say make sense, but that might be overstating it.
Well, they have themes to them. So there was like a fox lot, which is called What Does the Fox Say? Because obviously there was a lot that was just titled dogs. There was one that was entitled Cats.
Yeah.
There was So You're a 10-Year-Old Boy.
Yeah, which was just like a lot of like monster truck toys and Transformers kind of things. There was one that was printing, now in 3D, which was a 3D printer and a bunch of like filament to go in it.
And I will say stuff's like all next to each other, so you can't quite tell what's in each lot, but in kind of a delightfully fun way.
Yep.
Like most lots did have 1 or 2 like big ticket items in them that would be clearly what you would want of the lot, and then the rest was just extra stuff that you got.
Somebody had donated 4 boxes of Pokemon cards.
Yep.
This was probably 10,000 Pokemon cards.
Yeah.
Because these were not small boxes.
No. And furry, so there was a lot of plush.
Yep. A lot of plush.
A lot of plush. That's foreshadowing, kids.
Yep.
Foreshadowing is a literary device. I love how we both went there.
It's a good meme.
It is.
So, yeah. So, you know, and a lot of these had like silly names or comedy things. One of them was the Stick.
Well, that wasn't even there until the next day.
Yeah,
somebody found it the
night before. But on Saturday, one of the things you could put your raffle tickets in on was a stick.
Somebody found it last night when everyone was drunk and thought it was a good stick and insisted they put it in the auction.
Yep. A lot of people put tickets in to win
the stick.
Like the description just said, this is a stick. It's a perfectly normal stick. It's quite a good stick. Yeah, but there was some other stuff that was worth actual money. Like there was a Switch 2.
Yeah.
And a laptop of some description. And I have no idea how expensive that 3D printer was. So, like, again, people have donated some interesting stuff.
Yeah. So I do also want to give out a shout out to the, I think, director of charity, because it wasn't crowded, to be fair, we went in, but the director of charity clearly recognized that we were, like, new to the con and didn't know what was going on and were completely overwhelmed.
Yep.
So they just came up to us and explained the whole thing.
Yep.
And also bragged about how much money they raised for charity, which was... we know the total this year. We'll reveal it at the end of the episode. We know that last year they raised $20,000 for charity. This is a 500-person event. That is insane.
Yeah. This year they were hoping, because this was their 21st year, they were hoping to hit 21 grand this year.
And they didn't announce the total at closing, which we kind of sort of saw. So we'll talk about that then.
Yep.
But they were nice and explained everything. They also explained, because we were next to something that was labeled the Box of Regret, and we're sitting laughing at it, which I think is how they knew that we were new, is because we didn't know what that item was.
Yep.
So they explained what it was.
Yeah. Every year they have a Box of Regret. It's full of stuff that nobody should own. They also had the, what was it? Was it the Diet Box of Regret?
The Diet Box of Regret.
They had enough stuff for 2 of them.
Yeah, we saw what was in those later. I will say the Diet Box of Regret seemed like it had more regret in it than the Box of Regret. The Box of Regret just seemed fine, honestly.
Yeah, the Box of Regret actually had some stuff in it you might want.
Yeah, I know.
The Diet Box of Regret
did not have anything.
Cosby albums.
Yeah, it was kind of impressively bad.
So, yeah. But again, it was bad in a way that was very funny. Which is, you know, the most important thing. So, yeah. So, you know, we waited until Saturday to actually buy some tickets, but pretty standard process. You buy your tickets. You keep the stubs just in case. You write your name or your preferred persona name on the back of the ticket. You put your tickets into the bag of the items you intend to win. Job done.
So we'll probably talk about that more if we do it linearly when we get to Saturday, but like how we did that and went about it.
Yeah, again, at this point, are we ready to go linear?
I was doing that already because we went into the charity room after we got our registration.
Oh yeah, that's fair.
What, is there anything else you want to talk about before we did that?
I was just going to talk about like the space in the back with the food in the bar and stuff, but we can talk about that when we.
All right.
In fact, we can talk about that now.
I think that's where we went next. Yeah.
So at that point, we kind of went down because, like a lot of buildings that's built on a hill, if you go round the back, you basically go down a hill a bit, and then there's effectively a back entrance that's on the lower floor, and then the front entrance is on the upper floor, on the other side of the building. So pretty common setup. So the food area, was in the back of the building. Down on the grass, they had their bar, including a couple of tents that were just full of kegs.
Yep.
And something that I saw that just completely cracked me up was a staff-only portaloo with a padlock on it. Because, of course, even if it was labelled staff-only, if they didn't lock it, drunk people would use it anyway.
Because they're not reading signs when they're drunk. You forget how to read. Speaking of which, this weekend we also came up with 120 types of drunk people. We will release this as a bonus episode at some point.
We're already doing 2 episodes this week.
Yeah, it's fine. We need to make enough content. And yeah, for the record, we did think about putting Con on the Cob and this episode together. But we decided that the furries weren't going to want to listen to Con on the Cob, although they should.
Con on the Cob's weird.
Yeah.
Listen to that episode to understand how weird Con on the Cob is.
It's very weird.
But yeah.
I'm sorry about the sun. So did we do anything before our first panel that you remember?
Mostly we kind of wandered around and got a sense of the space.
Did you get food? Yeah, you did get food.
Yeah, I got food.
So we wandered around, we got a sense of the space. There were a lot of people like outside. Some people had their own like fire pits that they brought. There was a lot of chairs.
Yep.
I made a mental note to bring a blanket for the next couple days so we could sit down somewhere. Because there's some seating, but it's pretty limited. There's
not a lot.
There's some near the like building, and then there's some back behind the bar that are at additional tables that got moved around all weekend to be in the shade, which was hilarious.
Yep. Hey, furries need shade.
They did also have a headless area.
Yep.
So how this works is that people can, I asked somebody about this later this weekend, people can bring up their fur costumes and just frankly, like leave them there all weekend, because no one's going to take them because they're incredibly unique items, so someone's going to know if they're stolen.
Yeah, that was one of the comments, which was just like, yeah, if your fursuit gets stolen, you just, like, put it out into the community. And if anybody tries to sell it, it's going to get recognized instantly. Mm-hmm. Or if anybody tries to wear a stolen fursuit, it's going to get recognized instantly.
Plus, they're pretty custom-made to body types anyway.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of people just left because they all have these very specific trunks that they use to carry fursuits.
Yes, again, it's you can just fit a fursuit into a standard roller case if you know what you're doing with it. Depending on how complex the head is and a bunch of other stuff.
So a lot of people left their, I think, stuff back there from the weekend and just changed into it. I think some other people also just brought their stuff up daily, whatever they felt comfortable doing. Yep. They were pretty accommodating about that. And the vans we're using did have trunk space that you could put stuff in.
Yep. So yeah. But yeah, that was off to the side. So they made sure that there was like a changing space if you wanted or needed it.
Which was fun.
It was fun. And then they also had their quote-unquote events room, or events tent, I should say, which was kind of off near the children's playpen, or children's, like, play park thing.
Yeah, there was a play park there. The website said children used it. There were no children this weekend that used it. A lot of the furries did use it, which they were allowed to.
Yep, I did see a bunch of furries on swings, which is hilarious.
There was also a stump that was popular for taking pictures.
Yeah.
So that was kind of the area. We did walk around. You're going to be on grass a lot. They didn't technically have a pass for accessibility, but it was still pretty bumpy and stuff like that. I will say, and this is just the reality of outdoor events. Outdoor events just aren't going to be accessible to everyone.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean you should stop having them, and you should obviously try to have outdoor events that be as accessible as possible, but there's probably going to be some people that you're leaving out of outdoor events.
Yes.
But that doesn't mean you shouldn't have outdoor events. That just means you try to make them accessible and also have a bunch of indoor events. Luckily, furries have both.
Yep.
In multitude. So
again, furries like celebrating each other and getting together and doing weird nonsense.
So we wandered around, we checked out the tent, and there was a massive line for food when we got there because it had just opened.
Yeah.
So we checked out the tent, walked around a bit, and then we decided, because the tent had like tables and stuff like that where we could eat, and we were going to stay for PowerPoint night anyway, that it would make sense for you to get food since you can eat. For those who are unfamiliar, I can't eat because my body hates me, basically.
I love the way you describe that.
It's too complicated to describe.
Yeah. But yeah, so I went and I got myself some food.
And they did have different food for each meal this weekend, which was quite nice.
Yeah. So that first night we were there was, your basic grade burgers. Perfectly fine, perfectly functional, like nothing fancy, but they didn't really need to be. And again, like that, the food team was working.
Yeah.
And it was a very, very efficient process because the food was free at the point of delivery, like you paid for it just by having a badge. It meant that basically it was just a case of all the food laid out in trays. Grab a tray, walk down the line, grab what you want, get out, find somewhere to go and eat it.
And it is worth noting that this was fairly simple food, but it was prepared by a chef team that was volunteers there for the most part.
Yeah.
I think the last meal was technically takeout Costco pizza and some other stuff, which was, a little bit different. I do feel bad that we didn't stay, so you could try Costco pizza. It's quite good.
Yeah, I've heard good things about it.
But everything else was made by a volunteer team who was working gangbusters the entire time. So, and there was, as far as I can tell, enough food for everyone at every meal.
I would say so. Yeah, they got the balance pretty darn good. So again, we did that. We went over to the tent where PowerPoint karaoke was going to be going on.
Yes. And we've done this event before at Techo. It was the same person running it.
Yep, who recognized us.
Yep. And some of the presentations were the same, but the thing with PowerPoint karaoke is that it really doesn't matter. Because
the slides are nonsense.
Slides are nonsense, and people can do so much stuff with them. So we'd seen some of them before. I think some of them were changed mildly, though, and they were all very fun. So
we volunteered to go first. And for anybody not familiar with PowerPoint karaoke, the principle is fairly simple. You pick a topic. You will then speak on that topic using the PowerPoint presentation provided. You have no idea what's coming next, and it's probably going to be weird.
Yeah. So we did the sex one this time, which just kind of became, because we were the first people up and we volunteered first.
Yeah.
Which just kind of became
trying to embarrass me.
Yeah. It became us talking about our sex life, and you embarrassed me once.
Yeah, I did. Once. That was my one retaliation.
Yeah. The group was very game. Everyone was very kind to everyone who came up there, and they recognized it was it was a very encouraging and fun space. Smaller crowd than at Techo, which isn't to kind of be expected.
Yeah.
But people there were having a blast.
They were. Yeah, you were asking a lot of questions, which is good.
Yeah.
Because again, it is an audience participation panel. The audience members are the ones giving the presentations, and the standard rule is you can. If you're in the audience while somebody else is doing a presentation, you can put your hand up, and if the person says yes, you can ask a question.
Well, I find the questions are useful just because as somebody who's both done some improv and a lot of teaching, it's hard to talk 10 minutes, particularly if you don't have a plan. So having questions, I try to give questions to people that sets them up to make a really funny remark.
Yeah.
Which I thought I did a decent enough job of.
Yep. The person who was doing the presentation entitled "Everything You Know About the Human Body is About to Change." I asked if this new process they were describing could make me a less boring straight white cis man, and I just kind of looked at him. No comment. Yeah, but they did it in a very funny way. Are you getting marketing text?
Yeah. It's fine.
Yeah.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm just tired. Yeah, it's been a long weekend.
Yeah, this is a fun event. I love the person running this event. I'm glad that they're doing this. I want to see this at more cons, and this was a fantastic, intro to the weekend.
Yeah. So at that point, we walked around a little bit, and then I think we tapped at that point.
Yeah. So again, we did not stay for a lot of the late night stuff, and we're trying to learn how to socialize with people outside of like scheduled events and context. We kind of got closer this weekend. We still didn't approach anybody. We thought about approaching people a couple of times.
Yeah.
And then we didn't do it.
Yeah. Again, wait. That's the thing. If people come up and start talking to us and are friendly and nice about it, we're very happy to talk to them. We're very personal about it. It's just getting over that hump of going and talking to somebody else ourselves. That's hard. That's just difficult.
Yeah. But we're trying to get better.
I think we are better.
Mm-hmm. Are we?
No.
So, yeah, I'm trying to remember if we did anything else Friday night. We definitely walked around for a little bit, but we didn't stay too terribly late. Because that ended at 8, I think.
Yeah.
And then we left around 9. So we must have done something, but I don't remember what we did.
No, I don't think we left that late.
We definitely left late because we got back around like, well, actually probably would have taken a little while for us to
get back down.
Yeah, because it does take about 30 minutes just between everything, so yeah.
Yeah, I think that was about the last thing we did.
Okay.
So at that point we drove home.
Mm-hmm.
And we went to bed. I pet the bunnies. Not in that order. And then got up and got rolling the next day.
Mm-hmm.
So that first day, I was just in my work clothes because I didn't have like a chance to change.
I was in Sexy Persephone because I was feeling like this was, more of a fun event, and I was wearing a collar for about an hour, not very long.
Yep.
I definitely talked to somebody while I was wearing it. It's fine.
Again, you're still easing in.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine.
And again, this is not something I would wear in my work life. I do believe that, your kink isn't anyone else's kink, and no one else is consenting to have it in a public space. But this is a furry con where the rules explicitly say that collars are allowed.
Yes. Half the people there were wearing something of that ilk. It's fine. So yeah.
So then the next day I was in a butterfly dress, and you were kind of doing your Oberon deer costume.
Yep. So again, antlers, cloak, black clothes. Nothing too fancy, but functional for an outdoor event.
Mm-hmm.
So we drove along. We managed to get parking a little bit easier, just because it was slightly earlier in the day, and we brought the blanket up with us this time because we keep a blanket in the back of the car just in case of emergencies.
Mm-hmm.
It's rainbow. It was a wedding present.
Thanks, Glenavin.
How was it? Glenavin got us that.
Yes. Also, Glenavin is not a persona name. That is just my friend's actual name.
Yeah. But yeah. So we. I feel like I have been lugging a lot of stuff this weekend. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, we probably should have packed a little bit lighter. That's kind of again part of the problem is because there's this gap between where you park and the event space. You kind of have to just bring everything with you. Yeah. Which, if you're a person with a disability, is a lot of stuff, unfortunately. So
yeah, but we managed to make it work.
So we got there, and we saw Quicks again, I think, a couple times.
Yep.
Who was again doing bus stuff all weekend. Also, shout out one of the bus drivers who was dressed as Miss Frizzle.
Yeah, that was great. We weren't on that bus at any point, I don't think, because I think they were doing
the hotel run, but it was very fun.
Yep. And again, I didn't even get I'd never seen the Magic School bus. It never made it to the UK.
I've not seen it since I was a child. I hope it holds up, though.
Supposedly it does.
So we got there around 11, did our usual kind of walk around. This is meant to be a chiller kind of con. So we did a lot of more kind of just walking and sitting around and hanging out. And then we decided to set our blanket somewhere in the shade, which is a popular spot. And you decided to do karaoke.
Yep. So the way so they had a karaoke going on their main stage. Relatively simple process on this one, which was just there was a QR code you could scan. It took you to a particular website, and from there you could add a song to the ongoing karaoke playlist from a available list, which was a fairly extensive list.
Yeah.
didn't have some of the weirder stuff I was searching for, just because I like to be contrarian about karaoke. But they did have a fairly impressive list. Yeah. And at that point, yep, if memory serves, I went to go get food. And while I was in the food line was when I signed myself up for karaoke.
Yeah. I think I was just chilling on the blanket.
Yeah. And quite a few people were also doing the same thing, because by the time I signed up, I was about 2/3 of the way down the list, which was fine. You know, so I sung a Queen song I do not have the vocal range for, but, you know, it was fine.
And the host was working gangbusters, had all the songs, he called people up and who was on deck and stuff like that.
Yep.
So it was a pretty fun process. Everyone was encouraging. Shout out to the guy who did the song Tequila.
Yeah.
I was laughing so hard. And a decent chunk of the Wapafwa staff just happened to be behind us while he was singing that song.
Yeah. And I just heard this round of, oh, is he? Son of a... Really?
He got very loud cheers for saying the word tequila 3 times.
Yeah. Again, it's a good joke.
It is.
It's not a joke you can do more than once at any given event, but it's a good joke.
It's a great joke. We realized it was happening in advance because it does show the list of everyone who's playing, and like you can click on the song and it says shows you the lyrics that they're singing, which is cool.
Yep.
You're like, wait, is that the song Tequila? Does that have any more lyrics than just the word tequila in it?
Look at it. Nope. The entire lyric list is tequila, tequila, tequila. That's it.
He got the loudest cheers, or they did, I want to assume. Yep.
Like, again, well played, sir. Well
I'm going to use that if I ever do karaoke again.
Yeah.
I didn't try karaoke the next day. I think I'm going to continue in the realm of not for me.
That's fair.
It's just not something I enjoy doing. And I love being on the stage, but just not for singing. It's not because I'm not good at it. Like, plenty of people aren't good at it and still love it. And no offense if you're not good at it. Like, I assume you're like me in the realm of not good at it, where you know you're not good at it, but are just playing it up for the crowd. Because you can be bad at singing and still have amazing stage presence, which a lot of people do.
Yeah.
But I don't have either of those when it comes to singing, so.
Yeah.
Yours was also right after the furry photo, which was on the main lawn. So this is the thing, is like, because this is an outdoor event, a lot of the spaces kind of bleed into each other in a kind of delightful way.
Yep. Yeah, which does lead to some mild to moderate shenanigans, but...
Yeah, we should probably go back and talk about us putting stuff in for the charity auction now.
Yes.
We didn't do that.
Yeah, we did do that.
Sorry, that was earlier that morning.
Yeah. So yeah, it was pretty simple. We just bought ourselves $50 worth of tickets.
Yep. They have different amounts that you can donate to get bonus tickets. So you get slightly, it's like most arcade rolls where you like get slightly more the more you pay. So
yeah, so in this case, $50 got you, I think, 64 tickets, 62 tickets.
It's basically effectively $1 a ticket with discounts depending on like how much more you're paying for stuff. We bought 50 because that seemed like the right amount to us.
Yep.
And also because you have to write your name on the tickets, we didn't want to write our names more times than that.
Yeah, like 60 to 70 tickets worth of writing our names on them seemed about reasonable. A couple of times throughout the weekend, we saw people spending the $500 level of ticket buying, and in order to actually like reel all those out, they literally have to drape it off the back window, and you go down into the outside area and just like run it back.
Yeah. It's very cool because that's the only way they can count out the tickets. Plus, everyone's cheering. Like, it's part of the theater of buying, like, 700 tickets for $500.
Yeah.
And I admire people who do. Like, all of these furries are extremely generous. All of these people who are just people who want to donate to charity. So,
which is really fun and sweet.
It is. But we don't have quite that amount of money. Plus, we didn't want writing our names on 500 tickets on Alice, or 700 tickets. Yep. A lot of people had stamps.
Yep.
That they would just put on the ticket.
Yeah, we were joking we should put the name of the university on.
If the university wants to sponsor us at a con just so they can like have our university read out, we should pitch it to them. The furries would love it. And I honestly probably would get somebody to go to Muskingum knowing furries.
Granted, but at the same time, this was a 21 plus event.
Yeah.
I don't know how many of them need
We have many adult programs, though.
We do, in fact, have the Muskingum adult program.
I'm glad you asked about that, Richard, because it turns out Muskingum has many adult programs.
I don't know how to advertise.
Yeah, we're not great at it. That said, if you don't want to come to campus and hang out with us, you're more than welcome to.
Yeah. We will happily show you the campus. It's a very nice campus. Anyhow.
So there's a couple strategies I think you could have to this, if you want to call them strategies. It's giving money to charity.
Yeah.
One is you can just put them all in one thing that you really want, or you can do what we did, which is just put like one or two in like 50 different things.
Yeah, for the things we were like actually interested in, we put like 5 to 10 tickets in at most.
Yeah, I think the most we put in was 7.
Yeah. And then there's a bunch of other random stuff. We just put like 1 ticket in because why the heck not?
And keep in mind, you get 2 tickets for free for the general raffle. So we had 4 generally, so.
Yeah.
And you can always put those in. So it's nice because it kind of gives everyone a little bit of a chance.
Yeah.
And then the door prizes that they have are meant to be equal. That's just so, like, you know.
Yeah, you get exactly 1 ticket for the door prizes each. You can't buy any more. So, like, your odds of winning that are exactly the same as everybody else.
Which is nice because some people buy $700 worth of tickets. It's a little bit harder to have that experience of winning if you're somebody. And the furry community is very sensitive to the fact that there's people of all income levels in the furry community. So that gives people who are, you know, can't work or unable to work, able to participate to the same level of quality, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So we went out doing that randomly. So we put, like, I think 1 ticket in the box of regret and diet box of regret.
Obviously.
I would put a couple in, like, the dog one, a couple in the cat one, more in the dog one because we're more dog people than cat people.
Yeah.
I think we put 1 in, like, the child box.
Yeah, we put a few in the 3D printer. We put a few in the plushies.
Put 1 in both those. We put 1 in the stick because, obviously.
We put 1 in the gay box.
Yep.
Just because it had a little, like, swan with a like rainbow bow ties, a teeny tiny plushie in it.
Which is adorable.
That was cute. We put 1 in the box of dildos because, of course, we did. So yeah, like a whole bunch of like weird and wonderful stuff.
Yep.
1 of the dinosaurs one.
Yeah, we put a couple in the dinosaurs one actually.
Yeah. But yeah. So we didn't actually expect to win anything. We just it's more fun for us to spread it out over a lot of different lots.
Yeah.
Because that way,
you get the entertainment of kind of hoping you're going to win, and even if you don't win, it's
like, yeah, I put 1 ticket into that. Like, I wasn't actually expecting to win the Switch too.
Yeah. It's just kind of fun to think that you might win for a second, and then when you don't, it's fine because I don't think was there anything there that we were desperate to win either. So yeah, it was $50 that we wound up making back probably.
Probably.
If we seriously wanted to, we could make that back, I think, quite easily.
Yeah. We'll talk about that when we get there.
Yeah. Foreshadowing is a literary device.
Oh, God. So, yeah.
Which, to be clear, we weren't expecting to. That's not why anyone should do a charity raffle.
No, absolutely not. You should do it because, 1, it's fun, and 2, it raises money for a good cause.
Yeah. So we did that. Then we did karaoke. They did do just before it was your turn. They did the fursuit photo.
Yeah.
Which most furry cons have this. Some have a furry parade. This because it's outdoors. There's not much point to there being a parade where people get into costume and they take a big picture in their fursona costume, basically.
Yep. Which is fun.
And takes up the entire front lawn, so they paused karaoke while they did it. But it was honestly kind of fun because we were seated off to the side and we could see all the cool fursuits.
Yeah, which was interesting to watch.
Yeah, and seeing all the different and weird ones was very fun.
Yeah. By that point, I'd eaten my breakfast, which they described it as brunch. So a couple of sausages, biscuits and gravy. Nothing super fancy, but again, hearty, healthy. Well, probably not healthy, but They also had food trucks turning up throughout the weekend. Now, obviously, the food trucks were not included in the price of the badge, but they were there, which was good. I think they were doing gangbuster business.
Yeah.
Furries be hungry.
Furries be hungry. So after that, I think we walked around for a few more minutes just to kind of stretch our legs.
Yep, because we'd been sitting on the grass, hard ground with a blanket on. Not the most comfortable seating ever. So we walked around a little bit just to stretch our legs, see what else was going on. And then did we do anything before? Con War Stories.
I do think we walked around the front for a bit, but I don't think we did anything. This is an event that has less stuff on,
Yeah.
so. And I don't really remember doing anything.
Yeah. So at that point, we basically slapped the blanket down in front of the main stage again, slightly further over because the sun was quite warm, which meant that because of the way the trees were, everybody was trying to like pitch themselves in the shade.
Yeah, this was a game all weekend. Depending on orientation, the right side, if you looked at it down the field, was typically in shade. Then it would get further and further left as the day went on.
Yep.
When you got into mid-afternoon. So at that point, it was creeping over. We saw this at the charity raffle next time, too.
Yeah. But yeah, so we managed to snag a spot that was just becoming shady when we sat down.
It was entirely shady because we were sitting there for about an hour. We played, I think, some Heads Up for a bit.
Yep. Which, again, if you've not played it, it's just a thing I have on my phone. It's fun. But it's one of our we can't be bothered to get anything complicated out. Let's just do this to kill time for a bit. And then it was time for Con War Stories with Boozy Badger and Alkali.
Yep, who we've seen a bunch. They told a lot of stories that we've heard before, which is not a knock on them. They're not required to tell new stories, and a couple we didn't.
Yep.
And we don't tend to describe any of the stories that they tell because they're going to do it better than us as they were there. It's just funny. Yeah,
it's a comedy show. To all those persons. Like, both of them are very good, very talented comedians.
Although we did find out that, I feel like it's okay to reveal this one point, furries really like free breakfast.
Apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently one convention, when the hotel they were hosting the convention in, agreed that they would provide a breakfast to the furries as part of the event rental space of the rental. Apparently they used about 3 times the amount of breakfast the hotel was expecting. Mm-hmm. And the hotel wasn't too happy about that, but their contract said they had to keep providing it.
And then some shenanigans happened that we're not going to talk about. Because again, they're way better at this. And that's a part of a joke, and it's a fun reveal when it's a part of a joke.
Yeah.
Similar to a joke that I'm also not going to reveal. So at one point, Alkali said, okay, now there's giving cons feedback. Then there's giving cons too much feedback.
And we just went, oh God. Now, fortunately, the story was not about this podcast.
But we do send this podcast to furry conventions on their feedback form, and people listen to it.
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
Yeah, if you're actually involved with this convention and you're listening to us, we're so sorry.
And if you play us in a meeting, just know that if we find out about that, we're going to be appropriately mortified to know that our voices were broadcast to a room of 20 people. We don't need that in our lives. And to be clear,
if you're going to do that, listen individually so we get a higher view number.
Yeah, it really should do it that way.
I kid.
Yeah. The story was not about that. That's Alkali's story to tell, not ours.
Yeah.
But we just looked at each other perhaps like, oh God, is this about us?
Fortunately, it was not.
That person had a level of complaining that I am not capable of.
Yeah, that was great. So as a British person, that story kind of turned me on from the sheer level of top quality complaining.
That was, and it was a written letter too.
Yeah, that's some sexy stuff right there. So anyway, yeah. So this was a fun panel. It's always a fun panel. We've seen it a few times. The exact stories that they tell vary from convention to convention because for one thing, they have a lot of stories.
Yep.
And for another, they have a 2-year rule, which is if the convention in question happened less than 2 years ago, they ain't telling the story because it might actually cause problems. Anything beyond that time frame is, fair game.
Mm-hmm. And that's generally echoed amongst con staff generally, because I heard Quick's echoing it a bit later of just that she would tell me the story of what happened with the vans, which is all I'm going to say in 2 years' time.
Yep.
I will say from our perspective, the vans were fantastic and nothing happened to them whatsoever.
Yeah, the vans were great.
And that's not me being sarcastic, literally nothing happened with the vans.
Yeah, the vans were great. But yeah.
Yeah, and this was fun. It was definitely a smaller affair than what they're normally accustomed to. A lot of people just happened to be sitting there catching the story, but they were cool with it. They basically said they did it to get free drinks, which valid.
Yep. Hey, if you're willing to pay for somebody, the one story they were telling that is more recent than 2 years was about the nightmare they had with their hotel, because
Yeah.
Boozy is too cheap to stay at the actual convention hotel.
And this is on his Twitter, so I don't feel like we're
Oh, yeah,
actually, or his
Blue
Blue
Sky.
Sky, sorry. Twitter is bad.
Yeah.
/X, whatever the heck it's called.
Yeah.
But we already knew about this just because we follow them on Blue Sky. Well, you do. I
I
don't
do.
use social media because I'm lame.
So yeah, I'd already kind of heard this story, just from watching the posts. I still don't know what Blue Sky calls them. Like, I heard somebody refer to them as skeets at one point, and I hate that so much, so I ain't using it.
Yeah, by the way, just as an aside, like, I get that furries use Telegram, but can you please be, like, more friendly to people who don't understand how to do it? Because, like, well, Pafwa has, like, they have a private chat, or one for just people at this convention, that you got a link to with your buying tickets. So I've been looking at that. But they also have a general one that's for people who don't necessarily have tickets that I was banned from because I didn't have a username because I didn't know how to put one in. And I didn't know that I didn't have one until after you banned me. And I'm still banned. And like, I feel like that should be like a 24-hour thing. I'm not a bot. I just didn't know that my username box for a unique username is different than like the name I put in a separate box because that's not intuitive. So, I really feel like I should be unbanned from that.
I hadn't even heard this story yet.
I forgot to tell you about this.
Yeah.
So yeah, when I was signing up to pick tickets, they like had a general like link on their media to their socials, one of which was their Telegram account. And I was like, oh cool, this is a Telegram account for attendees. And they have one that's a general chat and one's for people who specifically have bought tickets for this con that you can only get by link that they send you in an email.
Yep.
So I'm in the like linked special one, but the other one like takes you to this room to verify that you're a person and not a bot, I guess. And it thought I was a bot because I didn't have a like specific username as opposed to a general username. Like, why can you sign up and not have a specific username? This is just confusing. Like, I literally did not understand this till this moment. So I'm just a point is like, maybe you should like unban people after like a 24-hour period because maybe some other people are in a circumstance like me and just learning how to use Telegram and didn't know that when they signed up, it didn't like automatically give them a unique username that you had to like fill that in a separate box.
We move on.
No! I've never been banned from anything before. I feel like I did something wrong without knowing it.
Oh dear.
I love you.
I love you too. So yeah. Furry social media is
confusing.
Terrifying.
It's incredibly confusing. I've tried multiple times, but it's either I see a bunch of dicks or I don't understand what I'm doing.
You accidentally wander into the not safe for work chat.
Yeah, it gets complicated, okay? And like half the time somebody has to send you the link in person, which is fine, but I don't understand how to do that. You guys are great. Your social media is confusing.
Yeah. So, moving on. So yeah, so we watched that. That took us till what, like 4ish?
Yeah.
And at that point, what did we do at that point? Got up and walked around for a bit?
Yeah, I think we walked around a bit more. We definitely we sat at a table for a while and hung out till dinner was ready at around I think 5:30.
Yeah.
At which point we were approached by some people.
Yep. Who were very friendly.
Yes. We're not going to say your names because you talked to us about some stuff that's like,
Yeah.
a little bit more stuff that you might not know reveal to other people, which is fine.
Which is fine. It did have a certain amount of, hey, we saw you across the bar and we dig your vibe energy, but
we don't judge. Look, the furry community is like polyamorous as heck, which is fine.
Yeah.
And again, everything was polite. I think they realized that, we were more interested in friendship than we were in that, and they were fine with that.
Yeah. Like, again, you and I have had this conversation because, again, we are very open with each other about all that stuff, and I think we're generally on the... It's not something we're, opposed to, it's just also something we're not ready for.
Yeah. And both of us have been flirted with at cons before, furry and non-furry.
Yep.
90% of the time, it's fine. We take it as a compliment, and generally people are good at reading social cues of just not quite what we're interested in right now.
Yeah.
Just to say that we're never interested in it, but it would probably have to be with people that we knew for a while and something that we both, I think, discussed at length as a partner before we did anything like that.
Yeah. Which, again, Maybe one day, who knows?
Maybe one day, but it would have to be with people we knew, and it would have to be after we had like enough conversations to keep people safe. So probably not something we can just do at a con with strangers.
Yes.
But again, they were not.
They weren't pushy. They were
They
just
were not
very
pushy
friendly.
that at all.
Again, I think they just recognized a certain kind of energy. And
Yeah,
that's fine.
It's fine. And you were like, hey, we give up a kink vibe, and then I was like, honey,
we're at a
furry con. They could have gone up to literally anyone, and it honestly would be more surprising if they weren't into that.
Yeah.
And they were super nice, and then we just talked about other stuff for a bit.
Yep.
And then you went up to get food.
Yes.
And I had to defend the table.
Yeah.
Which wound up being a thing.
Yeah, so, the food line by that point had gotten long, which, fair. There was 500 people in line for food. And I do want to specify, the food lines this weekend were moving fast. Like, they were efficient. There was just 500 people in them. Like, I am not criticizing the kitchen staff in any way. They were doing gangbusters. Everything was moving about as quick as could be reasonably expected. Like, at no point was I standing in a line for like 20 minutes without it moving, unless I was doing it actively before the time at which the doors opened. And throughout the weekend, the doors for the food opened when they said they were going to. Which is quite an impressive achievement in of itself. So good job to everybody who was involved with the kitchen team. Yeah, do you want to? So while I was in line to get food, do you want to tell the saga? Yeah.
So I'm not going to reveal these groups' names. I don't like really calling people out for bad behavior, but this was a little bit like shitty. I don't really know another word for it.
Yep.
So I was just at the table. Your bag was there. There was a chair placed next to me, so it was fairly obvious that like the person I was with was gone. Yep. There was a decent chunk of open table there, which, and we've talked about this on the podcast before, our general etiquette with tables is always ask the person who's already sitting at a table if it is okay for you to sit there.
Yep.
And occasionally people don't do this in a kind of just not thinking about it kind of way. This person did it in a blatant pretending I didn't exist and was invisible and could not see me sort of way.
Yeah.
So they came to the table, and not going to say names or anything, and like, well, we can sit here. There's an open space. Keep in mind that those were the only two chairs at the table at the moment because
the other chairs have been pilfered for various reasons.
Keep in mind, like, this entire back area behind the bar where tables were moved all weekend to be in shade. Chairs were rearranged. It was kind of chaos all weekend. Yeah. But most of the other chairs in the surrounding area were taken. They managed to find, I think, 2 chairs total. They had 6 to 8 people in their group. I was a bit unclear. And I was not willing to share a table with 6 to 8 people by myself with half of them not having chairs. That wasn't a feasible situation to work.
Yeah.
So one of his friends looked at me. I wish I could describe the look I was giving this person.
Do you want to do it again?
They're not going to be able to.
No, you do it to me and I'll describe it.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah.
Frickin' really?
Yeah, I did that, and then this friend asked, are you okay with me us sitting there? And like, had they asked and had the group been smaller such that it was feasible to share 2 tables, and had there been enough chairs, I would have likely said yes, as evidenced by what happened next. But because they didn't do all that, I just kind of asked them politely to leave, and I'm like, I pretty much remember verbatim what I said, which was just, I would rather you didn't. I'm saving these seats. I don't feel comfortable. Something along the lines of that. It was polite. It wasn't angry or snarky. The person still seemed ticked off that I said it, that their friend asked. I don't really want to blame anyone else in the friend group for this because not on them. And I get that this is like a minor thing. It's just a really big. It would not have bothered me as much had this person not blatantly been pretending not to see me at all. Like, I'm not thinking, I just don't think that this is something you should have to ask. This person was blatantly trying to pretend that I was not a human being. And as a person who is a minority gender identity and dresses very femme, that's an experience that is a very gendered constructed experience for me. I'm not saying it necessarily would have been, but I suspect it was. And it ticked me off. So they left, and then, like, I also was, like, worried that they were going to see me later with just you. And I said more people were going to be at the table. But conveniently, then a very sweet group of people who did all the stuff that I actually liked showed up. And they were like, hey, can we sit there? And I was like, yeah, sure. I just need this one seat. And they're like, okay. And then they got 2 seats, and then they found a third chair that the other person had somehow missed.
Yep.
And they joined, and they, like, said thank you, like, 2 or 3 times. And it was awesome.
Yep.
And I called you during this exchange because I was pissed off.
Yep.
And then I texted you and was just like, hey, the group of people who's here now
good.
are nice.
Like,
so you wouldn't like give them the stink eye or anything.
Yeah. So I was mildly confused because you obviously hadn't been able to convey the entire story to me. I was like, okay. So I came back over, took my chair, and we just got chatting to this group, who were very pleasant people.
Yeah. Both, I think, like mechanics.
Yep.
Different parts of the state.
Yep.
They were very fun. I realize that they're listening to us now. They're probably, they're the cars on the road that speed past us. I shouldn't attribute that to them. They do the speed limit all the time. It's just we drive slow.
Yeah.
That's how that works.
Yep.
But they were fun. We had a blast talking to them.
We did. And again, at that point, it was Asian food was how it was described. So I think I grabbed sweet and sour chicken, beef and something.
Yeah.
And then some cracker, some fortune cookies.
It was also funny because, like, right before, I think both of those people we wound up talking to for a significant amount of time showed up, I was having, like, a conversation with you, like, okay, we need to make more friends.
Yep.
And then friends just kind of appeared.
Yeah.
Thanks, friends. I don't want to say friends in, like, the sense that, like,
Yeah, I get it. It's very much a case of one of the things we've been criticizing ourselves for that weekend was the fact that, like, we're not good at going up to people and socializing with them.
Yeah, but this time, literally we were talking about that, and that first group of people, like, came up to us while we were talking about that. Now, granted, they thought we were talking about kink stuff at that time period, and not whispering about how we suck at friendship.
Yep.
But still, it counts.
It counts. Still counts. So we, it was nice to just sit and talk to people in a friendly, sociable way for a while.
Yeah, it was great.
I'm going to attempt to get them into a tabletop group. We'll see how well that works.
Friendship.
But yeah. So, what was the next?
We walked around for a minute because, we socialized with them for about 2 hours, which is awesome.
Yeah.
But then we needed a break because, you have that high energy after you have a really positive social interaction with new people you just met, which is really exciting. So we walked around for a little bit.
Yep. And because they told us a bit about the car show, because one of them was actively running the car show the next day.
Yeah, so we got to learn a little bit about the car show.
Yep.
And that's also how we found out how people got their fursuits up here, because we were interested in that. And that made us interested in going to the car show the next day. That's not normally a part of a con that we go to.
Yep.
It is at a lot of cons, particularly furry cons, but we hadn't been to one before. As people who don't know anything about cars.
Yeah.
And one of the people there was like, oh yeah, you can vote on your car. And I immediately asked, do I have to know anything about cars?
They said,
no. Like, okay.
You just vote for your favorite, and the reason why it's your favorite can be as dumb as you like.
Yep. We joked then about entering our Prius and just putting cat ears on top of it, because the thing about the car show is that if you enter the car show, you get parking. Like, you can just park next to the center. I want to be very clear. No one should do that. That's a dumb and shitty thing to do.
Yep.
We were making a joke. Don't do that. If you have a car, if you actually want to show off, do it.
Yep.
But if you're like us and drive a Prius, that we've done no modification work, don't do that.
Yeah. Like, again, our Prius is aggressively fine.
Well, honestly, if we just entered it late and put the prizes we got at the auction all over it, we still might have had a chance to win.
Yeah, probably. But anyway, so at that point, did we do anything else yesterday?
No, we went out. I remember we pretty much said that we would walk around and head back after that.
Yeah.
Keep in mind, we're doing a 2-hour drive back, and
yep, had buddies to look after.
And it's also just one of those things where I'm sorry to disappoint people who are into the late night debauchery that you can't remember, but like we're
not ready for that.
Yeah. It's not that we're not ready for it. It's mostly just you have to drive. Alcohol kills me faster than this is the thing. Furry cons actually do make me kind of want to do it again. I think that you've had that effect too. Like, this was the first con where I'm like, I kind of do want to try drinking, even though it might break my body.
Yeah.
It's just, for me, because of how my body works, I tend to kind of skip the fun drunk experience and go immediately to the hangover experience after one drink, and it's just not worth it.
Yeah.
Because I don't even get the fun part.
Yep. Whereas you've commented on the fact that, I get flirty with you when I'm drinking, and you do actually enjoy that.
I do, and I do think it would be kind of fun to get drunk. And like part of the problem we're having is approaching people. And I'm told I really have only been drunk. Well, I've only been tipsy once when it worked successfully, and it didn't work successfully the second time, and then I kind of gave up. Uh, I'm told that it lowers your social inhibitions and will make it easier for us to talk to people.
I've done a lot of very stupid things when I've been drunk.
Mm-hmm.
Like most of them were at university because obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah. Yeah, like again, if you're looking for a good event to get drunk with a bunch of very friendly people, this is a good one.
It's just if you're not drunk past a certain point in the night, it's kind of just hard if you're not drunk to be around drunk people. So we headed out fairly early.
Yeah.
Plus, it was a 2-hour drive home. So
yeah.
We did come up with a list of the different types of drunk people on the way home.
We did. We came up with like 120 different types of drunk.
Yep.
So like, because we realized that you've got like angry drunk and horny drunk and sad drunk, but like a lot of these have like sub-classifications that you can go into excruciating levels of detail about. It's like flirty drunk and horny drunk are very different drunks.
Mm-hmm.
Like one of them's actually trying to sleep with you, and the other is just in it for the love of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's the I love you drunk.
Okay, I'm just going to go through the list, and you can kind of add to what you want.
Oh,
for each.
The entire 120 things?
Yeah, just add a comment to each of them.
Okay.
Angry drunk.
This is the obvious one. They're just loud and shouty.
Productive drunk, where they reach like a productive high. We added this one to the list as we were making the list because weren't actually drunk. We were definitely what we called con drunk at this time.
Yeah.
Con drunk is basically just when you have a high of just being at a con and are really happy. It's not a legal thing.
Yeah.
It doesn't have anything to do with substances at all. We just call it con drunk.
It means there's a lot of endorphins in your system, but they're all the natural ones that are supposed to be there.
Yeah, so we were not driving literally drunk. Con drunk just means we had endorphins in our system.
Yes.
Horny drunk.
Obvious.
Hungry drunk.
Also obvious.
Sleepy drunk.
Yep.
We joke that this one just appears at the next bar.
Yep.
Kleptomaniac.
Yep. There's always a drunk who steals stuff. That's how we end up with random traffic cones all over the place.
Jealous drunk.
Yep.
Boastful drunk.
Yes, I know a few of those.
Loving-dovey drunk.
Yep. That's the I love you drunk.
The mom/dad/parent.
Yep. The one who is like very, very drunk and suddenly becomes very focused on taking care of everybody around them, usually to their own detriment.
The animal lover.
The one who wants to pet the police horse. I have literally seen somebody do that.
The bear incident I told you about.
Yes, you did.
The sporty drunk, who either only wants to watch sports while they're drunk or wants to participate in sports while they're drunk.
Yes.
The unwilling drunk, generally the one whose friends were shoved out there and now they're drunk and mad about it.
Yep.
The naked drunk.
Yep. This is the one whose clothes just kind of mysteriously vanish after a certain level of drunkenness.
The opposite of that, the clothes acquirer, who just inquires different clothes throughout the night.
Yep. They just turn up, at the second location bar, and they've somehow acquired a hat.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody knows where the hell it came from. They've just got it now.
The object acquirer, same thing, but just with other stuff besides clothing. Like they just somehow have a rubber chicken and you have no idea where they got it from.
Yep, not a clue.
The lost one, who just leaves for a part of the night, then shows back up and you have no idea where they were.
Yep.
The generous one, who buys rounds.
Yep.
The grateful one, who starts thanking random objects, which inspired all of this.
Yes. Hi, pandas. You're probably not listening to this, but if you are, that one is your fault. And it's your fault that, technically it's Boozy and Alkali's fault for telling that story, but,
The loud drunk, that's self-explanatory.
Yep.
The wise drunk, the one who, gives wisdom while drunk. Yep. The giggly drunk.
Yep.
Screamer.
Yep.
The one who keeps forgetting objects / forgetful.
Yep.
The honest one who tells truths.
Yep.
The brutally honest one who tells truths that you don't want to hear.
Yep.
Those are separate subclasses.
Other people.
Yes.
The honest drunk is usually telling truths about themselves. The brutally honest drunk is the one telling you, finally admitting that they hate your partner.
Mm-hmm.
And have hated them for years.
Yes. The gossip.
Yep.
The for the girls / for the boys.
Yep. The one who, suddenly only wants to hang out with their specific friends group and will, violently chase off anybody else who tries to join them.
Yep. And is making everyone party and fun.
Yep.
The sad drunk.
Yep.
The crying drunk, which is distinct, because the crying drunk is not always crying because they're sad. Sometimes they're crying because they saw a picture of a cute kid.
Yes.
The musical drunk, who Sings or dances.
Sings, dances, does karaoke, whatever.
The distinct subtype of the musical drunk called the Wonderwaller.
Yep.
Who, that one's self-explanatory.
Yep.
The dancer.
Yep.
The incontinent.
Yes. For the record, the incontinent drunk is the one who, like, every 5 minutes is going up to take a bathroom break.
The inappropriate piss goer, which is distinct from the incontinent drunk.
Yes,
That's the person who just pees in places where they're not supposed to.
Yeah, this is the one who's getting arrested for public urination.
Curse heavy.
Yep.
Wise ass.
Yep.
Pun maker.
Yep.
Hey, watch this.
Yep.
Phone caller who just calls random people on their phone.
Frequently their ex.
The ex obsessed, distinct from the phone caller.
Yes.
The artist who draws mostly penises, but occasionally other stuff.
Yes.
The conspiracy theorist.
I love the conspiracy theorist purely because, like, the conspiracy theorist drunk is the one who starts spouting weird conspiracy theories when they're drunk, then wakes up the next morning to find a note taped to their wall that just reads Camel Illuminati and has no idea what it means.
The writer.
Yep.
The swimming/boating obsessed.
Yeah, there's always somebody who wants to go swimming. Okay, I'm going to take a moment to do a safety PSA.
Don't go swimming while you're drunk.
Yeah, as somebody who grew up in a town with a university and a river, as a general rule of thumb, once every couple of years, they had to pull somebody's body out of that river because they tried to go swimming drunk. Don't do it.
The cowboy/cowgirl. They want to do something equestrian. Sometimes ride a mechanical bull if you're in the States.
Yep.
Sometimes stuff with a riding crop.
Yep.
Just generally.
Yep.
It happens.
They are also the kind of person who, similar to the animal lover, will want to pet the police horse.
Mm-hmm.
I have actually seen somebody ask a policeman if they can ride their police horse.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
The policeman told them no and to go the fuck home.
Yeah, they're distinct from the animal lover also, because sometimes the horseplay does not involve actual horses.
Yes.
Flirty.
Yep.
Which is distinct from horny, as we've talked about. I'm not really that drunk claimer, even though they are.
Yep.
The loyal devoted.
Yep.
Loyal to the friends. The racist.
Yeah.
That one's self-explanatory.
That's the one who definitely has some questionable views, but is only willing to spout them when they're drunk.
Mm-hmm. The righteous.
Yep.
The longing. The person who's like pining for somebody.
Yep.
Or something. The rules lawyer who like feels the need to like argue about petty stuff for no reason. The cleaner.
Yep, who suddenly starts trying to clean up after everything, but is very bad at it because they're very drunk.
The violent.
Yeah.
The clumsily destructive, distinct from the violent. One's intentional, one is not.
Yep.
The epiphany haver.
Yes, this is somebody who has like revelations about the nature of the universe while they're drunk and then forgets them when they're sober.
That'd help you if you tuned into this thing for like, a furry review podcast, and now we're doing this.
Hey, you're the one who pulled up the list.
It's fine. The shopper.
Yep.
The phone video shower.
Yes, who just like pulls up random nonsense that they've seen on YouTube and just wants to show it to everybody.
The chipper/happy drunk.
Yep.
The ranter.
Yes.
The ranter about highly specific topics. Those are distinct.
They are.
The hypnotic.
Yep.
The wingman.
For the record, I want to describe the hypnotic. This is the person who like will sit down and then stare at a disco ball for like 3 hours while they're drunk. Or other shiny thing.
Okay, we've got like 25 minutes.
Keep going.
Okay, the wingman/wingwoman.
Yep, who becomes super obsessed with getting their friend laid.
Yep. The mover/bar hopper who wants to go to the next bar the second you get there.
Yep.
The refuser of going home who somehow manages to find some other place for you to go after all the bars close.
Yep, this is the person who, after everything's closed at 2 a.m, somehow knows a really shady place that's opened up 4.
Mm-hmm. The inviter, the person who just keeps inviting more people on.
Yep.
The snobby.
Yep.
Complains more about the drinks. The thrill seeker.
Yep.
The body changer. This is the person who just wants to get a tattoo or a haircut or any body sort of modification whatsoever.
Yep. Tattoo is the classic one, but like waking up in the morning with a mohawk is... I know somebody that happened to.
The cheapskate.
Yep.
The storyteller.
Yep.
The quiet, who just is still quiet, and they were probably quiet before.
Yep.
The questionable impressionist.
Yep.
The questionable joker.
Yep.
Needy. The guy telling everyone to hydrate while not drinking water themselves.
Obvious.
The person who needs some other type of substance.
Yep.
The smoker.
Yep.
The poet.
Yep.
Just distinct from the writer. The otherwise destructive. The suddenly bi/questionably gay.
Yep.
Where they're not gay or bi at any other time.
Yep, they're just very drunk and suddenly they want to kiss their best friend.
The random fact enthusiast.
Yep.
The paranoid.
Yes.
The occult theorist, which is distinct from the conspiracy theorist.
Absolutely.
The anti-authoritarian.
Yep.
The person.
That's the one who's going to get arrested for, again, yelling at a police horse.
The BDSM enthusiast,
Yep.
similar to the suddenly bi.
Yep. Like they're suddenly willing to try a lot of things they don't normally.
Yep. The acrobat.
Yep.
The person who only talks about politics and or political.
Yeah.
The cuddly.
Yep.
The regretful.
Yep.
The pseudo-authority who suddenly thinks that they know about a topic, typically fire, that they don't.
Yep.
Not to be confused with the pyro, who does know about fire, just badly.
Yeah.
The one who doesn't have object permanence and just keeps pointing things that are in front of them out. Like they're just like, Steve, even though Steve's been here the entire time.
Yep.
The somehow even more boring than when they're not drunk.
Yep.
The impatient.
Yep.
The way too nice to strangers.
Yep.
The come at me bro.
Yep.
The blame gamer.
Yep.
The pack mule who has to carry everyone's shit.
Yep.
The gambler.
Yes.
The darts/pool player.
Yep.
Just distinct from the sports book, because those are specifically bar sports.
Yep.
The hat improviser who just puts anything on their head.
Yes.
So those are all of the drunk types.
Those are those we can think of. If you can think of any more that we missed, feel free to put them in the comments section.
Or email us, depending on where you're listening to this.
Yes. If you're listening to this, we'll do an addendum. It's fine.
Yep.
So
This is
that
what
took
happens.
up like 10 minutes.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that was the best use of our time. Anyway, Sunday, I was wearing a Lolita costume, because duh. And we got there at about 10.
Yes.
We weren't sure how crowded it was going to be. It was pretty much dead at 10 o'clock in the morning. I'm not surprised.
No. A lot of I suspect there were a lot of hungover furries.
Yeah.
And this time they weren't doing, like, yesterday they did brunch at like 11. The food wasn't until 12 today. That's fine.
Yeah.
A lot of people were not going to be conscious before then anyway.
Yeah. So, there was more karaoke. You made me sing a duet with you, because it started at 10:30. There was like nobody there.
Yeah.
So, we did karaoke. We checked the auction one more time just to kind of be nosy and check all the boxes.
Yeah. We were mostly just curious to see like what had a bunch of tickets in and what didn't.
Yeah.
The stick was pretty popular. They'd had to set out a second bag for the Switch 2.
Yep.
Just because the first one had completely filled up, which is fine. You know, that one was always going to be a popular item. And then, so we did karaoke. We kind of watched that for a bit. What did we do after that?
And we hung out there for a little bit, and then I think we we definitely got food at lunch.
Yeah, I got food. This was tacos / burritos, which this one was done as like a, you got your tortilla at the front, then you had like a selection of like, there was beef, there was pork, there were beans.
Yeah, I think just because it was a lot of downtime at this kind of memories are struggling a little bit because we don't have as much like
we don't
stuff
have a written
to like
schedule
anchor
we can look back
our
up.
brains at.
Yeah. Yeah, so we
really did not drink though.
No, but no, so I ate that. We kind of walked around a little bit. We bumped into the couple we've been talking to.
No, we went to the car show before we did that.
Was it that way around?
Yeah, we definitely went to the car show first and talked to people there, and then we went and talked to them.
That's fair. Yeah, so we went over to the car show. We looked at the cars. We have no idea what we were looking at.
Some people put some stickers on their cars to be funny. There were some really cool, like, there was a Model T there.
Yeah.
And the thing about the car show that the person was telling me the night before was they just kind of allow cars to show up whenever. Now, you do have an advantage for getting there early because voting opens pretty much at the time the car show starts. So if your car comes later, less people are going to vote for you. That's it. The thing you're winning is 3D printed ribbons. It's really an excuse to just show off your car.
Yeah.
Now that those prizes aren't great, I'm sure they took a long time to 3D print.
They did.
I'm hoping it's an event where everyone's just kind of there to see the cool cars.
Yeah. Which I think they are.
Yeah.
And again, like some people, did some modifications, by which I mean one of them had like a deer plush sat in the driver's seat.
Yeah.
That was really cute.
And we got to see the people we were talking to last night's car. One of them was running the event, so their car wasn't eligible to vote. We exchanged some contact information with them, and we both voted for some cars.
Yep.
I voted for a Volkswagen van because I grew up with one of those, and I really like them.
Yep. I voted for the Model T because they freely admitted it wasn't running, but they got
had to push it up there.
Yeah. I respect them for that.
And then I was like, "Oh, did you do it in fursuit?" And I think they were like, "No, but I have ridden in the Model T in fursuit before."
Yeah. Yeah, the owner has apparently driven it around Anthrocon while wearing full fursuit.
For the record, they did do this at a time when the street was clear to other cars and did it at 5 miles an hour. They were being perfectly safe with it.
Yes. But it probably gave somebody somebody was probably kind of confused. But yeah. So again, that was a fun way to spend half an hour. We don't really know what we were looking at, but
was fun to talk to people.
Yep.
I had to talk to Quicks a little bit more too. Exchange some details with somebody, talk to a bunch of people. And I don't know what won that because we weren't obviously there for that time period, but I'm glad that they were having this event. This is the first car show we've ever been to, and if they're kind of chill like this, I would definitely go again to one.
Yeah.
Because even if we don't know what we're looking at, if it's fine for us to vote as people who have no idea what we're doing, we're happy to do that.
Yep. Like again, a bunch of the had their hoods up, and I was like, yeah, that's an engine. I assume. Look, at one point we had to top up the windscreen wiper in this car, windscreen wiper fluid in this car. It took me like 10 minutes to find the right hole.
Yeah. It's not the only time.
Hardy.
You left that open. What was I going to do with that?
I mean, that's pretty much what you said to it. Anyway.
So one thing I do find interesting is you could vote. You had these little tickets to vote on your favorite car, and they just gave everyone a ticket to vote.
Yep.
You don't have to write anything on the ticket or anything. They did put the bowls in, like, you could see who was like leading and stuff like that because the bowls you put them in was clear, which I actually kind of like because it means that, like, if there's a car that hasn't gotten any representation yet, you can kind of vote for that, just kind of give it some representation.
Yeah.
Which is, I didn't pick the Volkswagen for that reason. I really just love Volkswagen vans a lot, but it's pretty cool.
It is.
So after that, we talked to our friends again, just kind of sat down on a bench next to them. This was definitely the hottest period of the day, and everyone was fighting for shade.
Yeah.
So we talked to them again about, like, Japanese fashion and Lolita fashion, because I was wearing a Lolita dress, and they're showing off some of theirs that they built around their personas, which is very cool. And I don't get to talk to fashion, particularly the type of fashion I like with a lot of people. When I say I wear silky dresses or something like that, a lot of people don't know what it means. So it was nice to have a conversation about fashion.
Yeah. It was kind of like when the two mechanics were talking about cars in terms of how much of the conversation I understood, but,
Well, particularly with Asian branding, it is hard to tell quality because they're all constructed in Asia. And that's not to say that there can't be quality from Asia, but you do have to be kind of careful with textiles and brands you don't know. So it was nice to get information on that.
Yep. Do you want to hit Taco Bell on the way home?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. We can do that.
Yeah. All right. So after that was the charity auction.
Yep.
The car behind you is asking you to move.
I know. Tough.
I hope our mechanic friends are listening to this.
Like, I can't currently there is currently somebody in the other lane. I am, working to overtake them, but I'm not going to drive dangerously in order to do it. There we go. I'm now indicating to say I will let it pass. So, so this was the charity raffle.
Yep.
So, the way they basically did this was they brought an item from each.
Just keep in mind, these lots, most of them had at least 10 items in them, if not more. Ours, we'll get there.
Yeah. Some of them didn't. Some of them was, like a single expensive thing.
Yeah.
And some of them had, like, a lot of stuff in. Mm-hmm. And one of them was the stick.
Yes.
All praise be to the stick. But yes. So, they basically brought, like, a representative item from each lockdown, along with a bag of tickets. And then they had their host, Plum, who was, vamping for the crowd and, like, making jokes and, doing all of that shenanigans.
So they would bring all the bags of tickets out and then put them into this big bucket that's apparently from the first con. They still use it, which is definitely a bucket where they used to have cheese balls in it 20 years ago.
Yep.
That they still use.
Yep.
And they put all the tickets in, and they make sure to ruffle them around a lot. And I did watch them doing this. They're making sure that they mix it up enough that it doesn't make a difference when you put your ticket in the bag, which is really cool. And they have other people there to do it. They put them all in, and then they grab one singular ticket. They also take out any tickets that are connected to other tickets, because it's easier to grab tickets that are connected to other tickets, so that wouldn't be fair.
Yeah.
So they're very good about being fair, which I do like.
Yes.
It did take them a little bit longer to set up. I think they were about 15 minutes past by the time they actually started. With how many items there were.
That wasn't surprising.
Yeah, it's kind of to be expected. And keep in mind, this event was happening out in, like, the lawn. So it was also amusing because everyone was sitting, like, exactly as the shade line was following. As the shade line, like, got further and further across the grass, people moved further and further that direction. It was hilarious.
It was great. Because it was real warm.
Yeah.
I think it was probably warmer today than it was the other 2 days.
Yeah. Also, you want to know something? Like, after we won what we won, I was like, oh, maybe one more things. Looking at the car now, I am so grateful we did not win anything else.
Yep.
We could not have handled that.
Yep. So they were working their way through various lots, making jokes.
And keep in mind, we were definitely on the smaller side of donators, and we just put a few tickets into different things. Like, we knew we weren't going to win anything. We just wanted kind of like the fun hope you get of like the maybe. It's kind of like when you buy a lottery ticket.
Yep.
You're not really doing it because you think you're going to win.
Yeah. If your financial planning is based on the assumption that you will win the lottery, get a new plan. But anyway.
So then it started. So there was also like this. The host they would draw the tickets and they would put the items with the tickets drawn on the back table and then bring them up one by one for the host to read off.
Yep.
And the host at the same time, to vamp in between items, would read a list of jokes people put in a bag that they could write in the center. You saw this. I didn't see it. I would have written a joke if I had.
I didn't see it until the Sunday morning. And I wasn't entirely sure what it was or what it meant.
Yeah, well, like basically a bunch of people put jokes in, but keep in mind, most of these people, when they write these jokes, are drunk. So they make no sense.
Yeah.
Like, some of them are funny, and some of them are so nonsensical that they're not funny.
Yeah.
And occasionally people have to, like, be called up to the stage to explain their joke.
Yeah. That was fun.
Yep.
So, yeah, like, it was a fun event. It was very, very silly. It was well organized. I'll grant that.
Again, it lasted about 2 hours. Keep in mind, they had about 80 lots.
80 lots, give or take.
Yes. That we had to auction off. So, and all of them had a representative item. I also didn't do them in any sort of order, and sometimes the host was confused about what lot was what lot.
Yep. They definitely thought they were at the end at least 3 times.
Yeah. And it was also kind of confusing for us, because we didn't know what lot was what lot, including the lot that we won, because the thing that we won, and explain this was fairly early on in the auction. I think it was about the 10th lot or so.
Yeah.
Somewhere around there.
Yeah, it was ultimately lot number 28, but again, they didn't actually do them in the proper order. Yeah, we won the plush.
Yeah, so what we won was a plush pillow. And because it was a nondescript plush pillow, we had no idea what it was.
Yeah,
they said it was the plushy lot.
Yeah, I thought we'd won what we actually won, but yeah. But hey, I really enjoyed having that pillow, because that gave me something to rest my goddamn back against.
Yeah, you got to lean back. Yeah. I couldn't do that.
Sorry.
It's fine. I would have asked you for the pillow if I wanted it.
Yeah.
Or we could have shared it.
Yeah, it was big enough to share. But yeah, so the entire thing goes on. A lot of people win a lot of stuff. It's very fun.
Mm-hmm. We shouldn't rush through it too much. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to add to that. This was a really fun event.
It was.
A lot of people rating stuff. A lot of people getting prizes. It was just so fun. And there's some people who are I would call whales, who win a bunch of stuff, but they're doing it for charity. Yeah. And half the time the stuff they win is just random stuff that they...
I mean, I'm not going to lie. You know what my favorite one was?
What?
It was the collection of, silicon animal genitalia.
Yep. Which went to the AV team.
Yeah.
It's just
sure,
great.
I'm terrified to see what they're going to do with that next year.
Yeah. There was something where you could win to do, give somebody hot sauce or feed somebody hot sauce on stage, those types of gags.
That did not look pleasant for anybody involved. No, it did not.
And I will admit, those types of stage gags, I feel like I've kind of just outgrown those a bit as a person, but it was still cute to watch.
Yeah. He was actively in pain towards the end of that.
Well, they didn't have milk ready, which was a very big mistake.
Yeah, they did manage to find some whipped cream.
Yeah, the kitchen staff was clearly tearing themselves apart trying to find something, and they eventually found a can of whipped cream.
Kind of squirty cream.
After he already put water in his mouth, even though, because we were sitting in the front, and everyone near us shouted no when he did that.
Yeah, don't do that. If you're not familiar, if you have eaten something that's too spicy, if you drink water, all that's going to do is spread the spice around your mouth.
Yeah.
It doesn't cool it down. So, yes. So, we are coming up on Taco Bell.
We should probably just kind of keep talking, because we only have 10 minutes at home. Maybe we'll just order it and be on the podcast.
Honestly, people can... I don't think people are going to care what our Taco Bell order is.
Why would they care about that? Okay.
I don't know.
If any of you were making a betting game out of this podcast, you could, I guess, bet on our taco order now.
Also, I'm glad we're not in the driving in the opposite direction, because the heck?
Yeah. So we normally turn the podcast off while we order, but it'll be part of the immersive experience of our drive home.
Yeah, it's fine. You'll get to hear my ordering food voice. But anyway.
Hello there.
Shut up.
That was actually pretty good.
Yeah. Again, this has been a weird one. So anyway, So after is there anything else specific about the event we want to talk about? Like,
the people were clapping when people were winning stuff, and occasionally, like, the host would like just call people up for bits. Like, one person was just like, "I want the host to bully me," and
yeah,
the host was like, "All right, come up here, and I'm gonna bully you."
and they did just like the weirdest like high school bullying. Like, I'm gonna put you in a locker. And,
yeah,
like, yeah, it was sure. And again, like this was a 21 plus con. Like they could make the jokes.
yeah,
You know, those jokes. The jokes you can't make if it's not a like
yeah.
if there are potentially children in the room, not those jokes you can't make. So yeah, it got out of hand.
Yeah.
That was one of the things in the box of regret.
Yeah, the box of regrets are opened on stage, basically.
Yep, so you get that's how we know that there was Bill Cosby albums in one of them.
So the diet box of regret had Bill Cosby albums, really problematic porn, and a few other things.
Yep.
The box of regret had a plushie.
Yep.
A like bluey stencil thing.
Yep.
It did have some porn, but it was like a way better box. It's just weird.
Yeah, specifically the Bluey art was actually Stewie and Brian from Family Guy.
Yeah.
If they were converted into Bluey characters. It was weird.
It was weird.
Like, it was kind of funny, but it was weird. Okay, let's pull into Taco Bell and let's order. This is
quality content.
Quality content.
Why are we doing this?
Because you said we should.
Okay.
Hi, are you checking in with your app to earn rewards points today?
Not tonight, thank you.
Order whenever you're ready.
Can I get 3 cheese quesadillas, please?
Okay.
A vegetarian Mexican pizza. A cantina chicken burrito. And a grilled cheese burrito, please.
Did you want that with beef, chicken, or steak, or black beans?
Chicken, please.
Okay.
That's everything, thank you.
£3.64, thank you.
Thank you.
So yeah, when I recommended we do this, I thought there'd be like a line so we could like record longer. That didn't happen. This is like the one night they don't have a line.
Yep.
Hi, $35.64, please.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Also, do you remember when fast food used to be cheap?
People like going through drive-thrus and having that realism in their life is like really popular entertainment. I'm also I'm trying to avoid us sitting in our driveway to finish this while our dog whines.
Yeah, that's fair. We're almost done. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So, I'll put the window up while they do that. So, after the charity auction was done, we then had to go and actually get all of the stuff. Because again, they brought like one representative item to the stage, which they handed to you, and then you basically went and got in line to go back into the building.
And keep in mind, at that point, we weren't even entirely sure that the plushie thing was what we won. That was what the host said we won.
Yep.
But like, the host was kind of wrong a couple times, and it was a pillow.
Yep.
So we really didn't have any idea.
Yep.
And I will also say that I thought the plushie pile was like one bag full of stuff.
So sitting in the back of our car are 4 giant bin bags full of plush. What the hell? Like, that is so much plush.
So for the record, we're not keeping all of this. But the situation got a little bit overwhelming for us.
Yes, so we should probably explain kind of what happened.
Yeah, so again, they announced for everyone who like got stuff, because most people had additional stuff, to like go and pick up their stuff. And they had somebody directing us, so you had to basically go back around to the front of the building where the charity like raffle was, and then there was a line that was moving with like reasonable alacrity for you getting stuff. While we were in line, before we even got the stuff.
Yep. Somebody who knew what we'd won asked if we were planning to keep all of it, which we hadn't even seen all of it.
Well, they were referring to something specific that we didn't even understand at that point, and I think they were, I don't know, I didn't really get the sense that anyone was annoyed that we didn't understand what they were talking about, but like...
Put it this way, there were a couple of things in that plush collection that I think some people really wanted.
Yeah, because we looked at that bag, and it was a pretty full bag.
Yeah.
We didn't put a lot of tickets in. I'm sure some people did, and I am sorry they didn't win. But at the same time, like, I was really excited. Like, you can even tell based on how I was dressed today that I'm a really big plush enthusiast. Like, I love plush. And I was excited to, like, win it and go through it. And the initial plan, I think both of us were going in, it was like, okay, we'll sort this. and then we'll just give a bunch of stuff away, so we have like one bag as opposed to the 4.
Yeah.
That did not happen.
No. And that's largely because while we were like even on the initial phase, like in fact even before we got in, people were asking about specific things, specifically those exact things that
Well, like, it was before we could even make the decision if we wanted to give them up.
Yeah.
Like, it just felt kind of pushy and vulture-y.
we felt kind of pressured.
And this is a very big thing for me as somebody who was abused as a child. One of the ways you're abused, and I'm sure this is true for a lot of other people, is your parents like take away things that still belong to you. That's happened to me in adulthood with my parents sometimes, unfortunately. Food's here.
There you go.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Thank you.
There you go.
I'll just put it down here.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, well, they gave it to us in a giant carrier bag with the sack inside. That's unnecessary.
It might have just been leaking or something.
Yeah.
Again, it keeps my dress protected, so I'm fine with it.
This is true.
So anyway, as somebody who's like been through that, I wanted time to like make an informed decision, and the room was hot.
Yep.
And there were like I don't know. Like,
There were like 80 people in there.
yeah.
Who'd also won stuff.
And we're also trying to sort it, and this was just massive amounts of plush. And like the other thing, like I realized pretty quickly, is like there was plush that people were definitely asking about that they cared about, but this is a furry con and it is plush. If I put a table out that just says free plush on it,
It will be gone in 5 minutes.
it'll be gone in 5 minutes. Some people will take like a bunch of it and won't leave any for other people, and like there's not a way to organize it, and it was hot.
Yeah.
And I got overwhelmed pretty quickly, and also like this particular lot of plush has like 16 unicorns in it.
Yes. And you like unicorns.
I love unicorns. And like I don't necessarily want to keep all of those unicorns, but I at least want time to like sort that out.
Yeah.
And it was hard because people kept coming up to us to ask about them.
Yeah.
Like while we were still sorting them, and like it's one thing if somebody says something is free and is going to give it to you, but like I didn't want to really like reward people for being pushy when it was making me feel overwhelmed.
Yeah. Like again, we're not planning to sell any of it.
No.
Like the hot ticket items that people were asking us about, repeatedly, and like when I say people, I mean a lot of people.
Like 6 or 7 different people.
Yeah. Like those we're probably going to donate to another furry con.
Yeah, we'll have
and let them like auction them off.
Yeah,
to
so that
raise
way they
money
can at
for
least
charity.
go to people for some amount that they're worth. I tried looking them up out of idle curiosity. They seem to be something that's unbuyable, which explains why they're so popular. That doesn't necessarily mean that they're like ridiculously expensive. That just means they're rare.
Yeah.
Those are 2 different things.
Yeah. But it does mean that, like, again, if we like take them to MCFC or something like that,
Yeah.
put them in the charity auction.
Then they can go for whatever fair price there are at the charity auction.
Yeah, they'll raise more money for charity. That's probably what we're going to do with those, like, quote unquote high value items.
Yeah.
Because we feel more comfortable doing that than like trying to hawk them on eBay or anything like that.
And we didn't want to just give them to somebody random because like 7 different people were asking about them, and there wasn't really a way to choose any of those 7 different people, and none of them waited till we asked if anyone wanted them.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it was kind of an overwhelming experience for me. I've had a couple very specific instances where like I had a bunch of stuff and it was just kind of taken from me in kind of violent ways.
Yeah.
It was pretty triggering. It was pretty uncomfortable. Like I was near tears at one point.
Yeah. And again, like that's not even necessarily on any one individual.
No.
It's just
I do think it's something for which I would encourage the con to at least make an announcement or have a policy, because they made like 6 or 7 different announcements about not throwing tickets on the ground, which we wouldn't do anyway.
Yeah.
I think they could also make an auction about like, because there is very clearly this room after the auction has a bunch of stuff in it, and people do just give a bunch of stuff away because there's a ton of stuff there.
Yeah.
About like just not asking anyone if stuff is up for grabs until after they sort it and say that it's free.
Yeah. Like even something. Ideally, because they do give you like that space to kind of look at the stuff and sort the stuff and do that stuff, but again, like that room ain't big enough for the job.
It's not big enough for the job, and it doesn't help when there are people who are just like, there was one person who was just like standing next to us the entire time we were doing it, waiting to see if we would give them something, and it was just not comfortable.
Yeah. So so what we basically ended up doing was, we packed everything back into the the 4 bags.
Yeah, and we're likely going to donate the like fancy fursona. It clearly belongs in the furry community. We're going to keep it in the furry community. We'll probably donate, MCFC if any of you are that desperate. It'll probably be in the MCFC auction.
Yep.
The other stuff we're probably going to donate to like domestic violence shelters and charities, the stuff we don't want to keep.
Yeah, maybe,
And maybe at the next con, I'll bring a wagon with some bears in it and put like, you can take 1 free bear or something like that at the con, just for a fun experience for some kids or some other people.
Yeah, or like adopt a bear, one, or like adopt a plush, one, one per person. Don't, give what you can, and that money will get, given to the charity, something like that. There's a lot of things we can do with them. Once we've actually had time to sit down, go through and go, okay, we'll keep this one, we'll give up this one, we'll keep this one, that kind of thing.
It just wasn't feasible in that particular room. I also felt bad because I was worried people were being selfish, but it was just, it was hard having 6 or 7 different people ask you about these particular plush when you have no idea what they are or what they're doing, and even if you want to keep them.
Yeah. So again, not, that was honestly the only, particularly bad point about the entire experience. And that's not, I'm not
even sure if that's on the, people were commenting about this also at, Key City this year. They had a free stuff table, and they were saying people on that were like vultures this year with just wanting, this might just be a time period where people are really, want free stuff.
Yeah.
And, look, I get it. You see me. Sometimes I do get in obsessive mindsets where I really, want this one thing and, I need to make that thing happen. Yep. That said, I would still not ask somebody for something that they won in a charity auction before they said it was free.
Yes.
Just, I don't think something that's good to do.
Yeah. So, yeah. So,
but again, that's not on the con. My one, I think, biggest piece of constructive feedback for the con is just please make an announcement asking people not to do this.
Yeah, and basically say, now, some people will be wanting to give stuff away. Don't ask people until they are ready. In fact, again, in all honesty, I know they do a swap meet thing.
Yeah. Well, that's what that room effectively is from that time period, is swap meet and give away free stuff, which is fine. I think some people who go there a lot know that.
Again, the thing is, there's a specific time period that's set up for the swap meet, which is after that.
Yeah.
I think the way it's supposed to work is you get the stuff, you have 2 hours, you have an hour or 2 hours to look through it, decide what you want to keep, what you don't, and then it's supposed to be the swap meet. Whereas I think it just kind of devolved into the swap meet happening immediately.
Yeah, which I think is pretty normal.
Yeah.
But it might be good to have okay, no one who hasn't won anything can be in this room until
until people have actually had a chance to sort things and figure out what they want to keep. And so again, we'll figure out something to do with all the plush.
We will. We're not keeping all of this. We don't need this much plush.
No, most of it's going to go to charity in some capacity, and some of it we'll keep. But
yeah. I do have a plush collection, mostly of just stuff I bought, some stuff I win at cons, and I still really want to enjoy this experience because, again, childhood me, as some of you know on this podcast, had a rough childhood, would be so thrilled with just, having a car filled with plush going back to their house. And I am still pretty thrilled.
Yeah.
Okay, so
so what we did at that point was we lugged the 4 bags out to the front.
Yeah, they did let us bring our car up, which we were grateful for.
I basically just went over and checked with the safety team. Basically said, okay, we've got this. And they basically said, yeah. And they said, yeah, you're about the 4th person who's asked us some variant of that question.
And I will also say, as our situation was somewhat unique with the fact that we got a bunch of items, some of which were clearly high value. Most other people, their lot had one high value item on it, and it was clearly the item that everyone in that lot would want, whereas ours might not necessarily be that. But anyway.
But so again, they basically said, yeah, we'll try and accommodate you. And
so I made the decision just based on the table thing that happened yesterday for you to stay up with the stuff, which was probably good because I think 3 or 4 people asked you again about it.
Multiple people asked me about those items.
Yeah. They were polite, we want to emphasize.
They were. But again, it was just one of those, we were both a little overwhelmed at that point. Not ready to make any decisions.
Well, it's hard to do that where you have to make decisions about what you want to keep and then watch people fight demons to go get it, because again, it's plush at a furry con. Even the stuff that wasn't that, if we sat at a table that just said free plush on it, would be
it'd be a knife fight.
Yeah.
But
so we did that. We loaded up the car.
Yep.
That's pretty much the end of it. I'm a bit sad that it ended on a sour note, but hey, we got a car full of plush.
Yep.
That we did manage to fit in our car. Barely.
Yeah,
barely. I really did not think it was that much plush.
Yeah. There's at least 2, here's the thing. If you take the 2 giant bears out, it's probably not that bad.
It's still probably about 30 plush. So we spent $1 a plush? We can count them later.
Yeah.
This is not us bragging, by the way. We do intend to donate most of the stuff.
Yeah. But again, it's just mostly a case of that needed a little bit more management towards the end.
Yeah.
So yeah. Okay, we've got like 2 minutes until we hit home.
Okay.
So stuff at this con we didn't do.
There's a lot of it. There was like yoga. I don't even have my phone because I've got to keep this food bag on me. So I'm just going to say there's a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Yoga, drawing swap,
Water fights.
water fights,
A lot of alcohol.
a lot of alcohol, ultimate frisbee, a bunch of sports stuff,
Yep.
a few panels. They just kind of simultaneously happened.
Yep.
Look at the schedule. That's about as much level of detail as I can go into
Yep.
because I can't get my phone out right now. So, top favorite con moments.
Yeah.
You okay?
So top con moments. I actually really did enjoy karaoke with you.
That's
Like
fair.
neither of us are good at it, but that doesn't really matter.
If you're doing karaoke, I will do PowerPoint karaoke because it's still amazingly fun.
That's fair. Actually managing to vaguely make friends.
Yep.
Kind of. Sort
Put
of.
all of that in one moment, but I might highlight something specific from it. But
That's fair.
all of the social interactions this weekend were a lot of fun.
Yep.
I swear your mind just goes blank.
Mm-hmm.
I really did like the comedy show. It was a lot of fun. We got to hear some news stories, and I got that moment of side clutching laughter.
Yeah, it's always good. And then I'm trying to think. Do I want to? I probably shouldn't take winning the auction from you.
That was my moment.
Yeah.
That was going to be my last one.
Yeah. That's
For the
what I
record, these
figured.
aren't in any form of order. It's just
like three things that
Yeah.
we each happen to really enjoy. Honestly, just the moment when I realized that one of the high value items that a lot of people really wanted was a stick, and I was just like, okay, we're at that level of silly. Cool, I can run with this.
Friends, and I will say the charity thing just generally just surprised me a lot. It's what I love about Furry Cons is just the sheer absurdity and joy of that charity auction or charity raffle thing was so much fun.
Yeah, I'm going to avoid going through campus because the
Yeah. And as a bonus one, I will say that the place where we parked was next to this massive flock of geese that we got to see take off and land and fight the entire weekend. It was great.
Yeah.
We love geese.
Good job, guys.
So yeah, that was Wapafwa.
Wapafwa. Your acronym sucks, guys. I'm sorry. I very much enjoyed this event. Your acronym sucks.
So now our highly scientific rating system of would we go back?
It's going to depend entirely on what's on that weekend.
Yes. It is an interesting experience. I'm glad we tried it. I will say a little bit for us specifically, we're pretty weather sensitive, so it might depend a teensy bit on the weather too.
Yeah, they had a pretty much perfect weekend for it this weekend.
I know it was a little bit hot for some people, but it was about just right for me.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, we brought you a sweater in case you needed it.
Yeah.
You didn't end up having to put it on at any point this weekend.
Yeah.
Which is fine. And I've been in a shirt most of the weekend. Also trousers, for the record. I was not Winnie the Poohing this con.
Imagine what would have happened if we had won literally anything else.
Yeah.
Oh my god. So yeah, again, we've got to unload this car.
Yeah.
Stuff will go to charity.
Yep. It's going to take us a little while to
We're not going to sort it tonight, but we will later.
No, we do not have the brain space to sort it tonight.
And if you are at all interested in those plushies, we will tell you or try to put out on some form of social media if you follow us, I guess. I'll see if I can find a telegram about where they will be auctioned off, but we are auctioning them, I think.
Yeah. Because again, I would like to raise more money for a charity.
I'd like to raise more money for a charity, and I would like a way of determining who gets these things that, I'll be honest with you, they're fine, they're cute, they're probably not my favorite thing.
Yep.
Don't care about that much. I want to make sure they go to, a home in the furry community, because those we don't really want to donate to a shelter, because they're not going to appreciate them as much as a furry does. We'll be fine with a generic teddy bear, whereas you guys really like them, so we do want to keep them in the furry community, since they seem to be rare collector's items, and we'll try to find a good home for them, okay?
Sounds like a plan. Okay, we are now pulling into our drive. I still haven't got used to the tree not being there.
Yeah.
For anybody who's been listening to this podcast for a while, the tree that took out our power a while back
finally been removed.
has finally been fully removed. So, at this point, it's not going to like fall and damage the house anymore. Yay.
Okay. We've got a dog that's going to complain and a bunch of stuff we got to get out of the car.
Yeah. So thank you very much for listening, and we will see you in the next episode.
Bye.
Bye.